Arirang Special.
오는 15일부터 몽골의 수도 울란바토르에서 아셈 정상회의가 열립니다. 이번 회의가 더 의미가 깊은 건 몽골과 우리나라, 두 나라 간의 굉장히 돈독한 관계를 유지하기 때문인데요. 앞으로 양국 간의 협력 방안에 대해서 바상자부 간볼드 주한몽골대사님과 이야기 나눠봤습니다. It is my pleasure to meet you, Your Excellencies. Thanks for sharing your precious time with us here today.
Thank you very much for inviting me and having me on your program today.
Okay, good.
It's a real pleasure and honor for me.
Thanks for saying that. It's very nice of you. So Mongolia is very famous for a country as a great warrior of Genghis Khan, and I'm sure that there are so many other factors about Mongolia that's so amazing. Would you introduce that part of?
Yeah, Mongolia has an ancient and rich history and culture, with a very proud and genuinely friendly and freedom-loving people who live for centuries in a great harmony with nature. Today, Mongolia is an open and democratic country with free market. It is enormously rich in mineral resources. For example, Mongolia has the world's largest reserves of coal, copper, uranium, and oil shale, for example. So another great potential of Mongolia is it has the 60 million heads of livestock. So it's a great potential to produce excellent quality livestock products and raw materials. And because Mongolia has a vast land, it could be another good source of agricultural products. So Mongolia has there's lots of sunshine in Mongolia, and it's very bright and the blue sky.
That's amazing. And living in a beautiful nature is a very luck of Mongolians. And Korea and Mongolia has been a really good companion for each other for a very long time. Would you explain which fields you are working together right now?
So Mongolia and Korea established diplomatic relations in March 1990. So I always want to emphasize the fact that Mongolia was the first among the then still socialist countries to recognize Republic of Korea before Russia, China, and Vietnam and others did. Since then, the bilateral relations grew at a dramatic pace from people-to-people exchanges to the projects in infrastructure and energy.
All right, good. You're working in very many different fields together, and we're a good companion. However, we remain our relationship as a strategic partnership, comprehensive partnership, whereas Japan and China remains as a strategic partnership. Would you explain a little bit of it?
So we share about 8,000 kilometer long border with our immediate two neighbors. And our trade and investment are in more strategic items such as petroleum. So we call our bilateral relations with our two immediate neighbors as a strategic partnership, and provided a significant amount of financial and technological assistance to Mongolia. And just for example, so 2 years ago, Mongolia and Japan signed FTA. So this is the first ever FTA for Mongolia. So these three countries are in a special place in our foreign policy and international relations. So, but I'm sure at the current pace of development. So Korea will be next our strategic partner because so many projects involving the strategic areas such as energy, I just mentioned, the transportation, not only bilateral, so the regional projects also on the agenda. So Korea, I'm sure, so pretty soon, so could be titled as our strategic partner from current comprehensive partnership level.
I expect that happens very soon. Mongolia is developing very fast in many different fields, and there is a good news that you're building a railroad track with China and Russia. How is it going so far?
So there is a railway line that runs through Mongolia that connects Russia and China. So after several years of serious discussions and even debates, in 2010, so our Mongolian government and parliament adopted a state policy on railway development. So according to this policy, so we will be building new railway lines that would connect Mongolia's major industrial and mining sites with Chinese railway and Chinese industrial areas. So there will be more lines that would run through Mongolia to China, for example. So there will be another big railway line that would be built to the east. Also, this line would further run through Russian Siberia, and that would reach the Russian Far East seaports, for example. So that would give us a lot more opportunities to diversify the railway lines and the policies and regimes, and also that would mean the transit transportation cost will be reduced because most of the mineral products will go to China, so there will be more railway lines. That means the costs would be low, and that will also give some opportunity for our potential investors, for example, from Korea, the benefit from this new railway policy by Mongolia.
That's good. Even with the example with railroad track, it shows that Mongolia's geopolitical situation is very important, and the world is started to focus on the geopolitical situation of Mongolia. What is Mongolian government's reaction with it?
So, like I said, Mongolia is located between Russia and China, such a two giant markets. So Mongolia could be a good land bridge that would connect not only these two big giant markets, but also Mongolia's location. So geographical location could be a good transit and corridor that would connect the East Asia with Central Asia and Northeast Asia with rest of Eurasia, and including, for example, Korean Peninsula with Russia, Central Asia, and further with Europe, for example. So Mongolia's vast land could be a good potential.
That's good. So from what I know, Mongolian government supports the idea of Eurasian Initiative. Is there any fields that you think we can work on together?
Yes, though the President Park Geun-hye's Eurasian Initiative, so that would be another good opportunity for Mongolia to work together on bringing up the current status of the infrastructure. between Mongolia and China and Russia, and further connecting with Korea. So in that sense, there are a number of major initiatives put forward by the regional countries, including China's New Silk Road project, Russia's Eurasian Union Initiative, and Mongolia's Steppe Road Initiative. So these are the initiatives basically to increase the connectivity throughout the massive land of Eurasia. So Mongolia could be a good land bridge connecting, according to the Eurasian Initiative by President Park Geun-hye, could be a good transit point connecting Korea with the rest of Eurasia.
So in order to make the Silk Road Express work, it is very important to cooperate with North Korea. And it might be a little tricky situation. What is Mongolia's government's idea with the idea of working together with North Korea?
So if, of course, North Korea comes positive on supporting these regional initiatives, connecting countries and economies and territories. For example, you mentioned the President Park Geun-hye's the Silk Express, Eurasia Express project. So I hope the North Korea will understand the importance of being connected with the rest of the world. So hope that they will come positively on joining us developing and or bringing into reality these grand ideas and projects.
I hope they do understand too. And there is going to be another question about North Korea. What is the Mongolian government's idea of the nuclearization of North Korea? Do you think it should happen, or do you respect their choice?
So we maintain the traditionally friendly relations with North Korea, but we are against of their nuclear programs, so their nuclear ambitions. So Mongolia declared itself as a nuclear-free zone in 1992 at the UN General Assembly meeting, and followed by a resolution of the Security Council resolution adopted in 1998, guaranteeing the Mongolia's nuclear-free zone status. So in 2012, for example, the 5 permanent members of Security Council of UN adopted a declaration guaranteeing the Mongolia's non-nuclear status. So this is something we want to also other countries should follow, because non-nuclear status guaranteed by the international community would be another means to protect national security of the nation.
From the last summit, there are so many other things that the two nations decide to work with each other. How do you think it would affect the future of the two nations?
Some companies, airline companies such as Korean Air and Mongolian Airlines, so they've been serving this route for the last maybe 20 years. So they, the number of passengers, ever increasing. So every year, each and every year, so the Korean Air and Mongolian Airlines, so they have to increase the capacity of the fleet serving two capital cities. So There is a good news. So another Korean company, Air Busan, just started the direct flight from Busan to Mongolia. So there are more opportunities for Korean tourists to catch the flight from Korea to go to Mongolia. So I mentioned the two companies, the major companies, Korean Air and Mongolian Airlines. So at some point, the Mongolian Airlines, so they cannot sometimes match the capacity of the fleet against the Korean Air. So at the last meeting between the two authorities and transportation authorities, and also at the summit meeting that took place in May. So we discussed how we could upgrade the current status of the airline services. So like I said, so we increased one more line that connecting Busan and Mongolia. So that would help increasing the number of tourists going to Mongolia, and vice versa, coming from Mongolia to Korea. So I hope the cooperation among these companies will help boost the tourism business between Mongolia and Korea. Also, the investments and trade will be also increased with the help of increased number of flights.
That amazing result came out from the last summit, and the two leaders are meeting again very soon. What do you think will be discussed at the upcoming summit?
So this time, for example, so we expect the two sides will reach an agreement on building a major power plant in Mongolia, the Mongolian capital city. So the largest power plant, that will be the project. So the largest power plant project in Mongolia. So POSCO is going to be a contractor of the project. So there will be also the projects will be discussed, and or I hope so we'll be able to reach an agreement on building the history museum of Mongolia, and also the IT college in Mongolia, the Korea's economic grant assistance. So those are the major economic projects we are expecting to be addressed at the summit meeting next time.
So mainly, President Park is making a visit to Mongolia because of the ASEM conference that is coming up. What is so special about holding a conference, ASEM conference at Mongolia?
Yeah, this is the forum that brings together the 53 nations from Asia and Europe. So this year we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of the founding of this forum. So this is a real an honor for Mongolia, and as well as a great responsibility to host the summit. As far as Mongolia, so we are seeking a declaration adopted on several different issues, for example. So we are submitting a draft declaration to be adopted at this summit on strengthening the rule of law, and enhancing the anti-corruption measures by the governments, and also we working on a draft declaration on strengthening the women's rights, and also we focus on supporting the startup companies. So hope we will reach the leaders will reach an agreement on these issues, and so will adopt the declaration involving these issues. So Mongolian government is putting forward.
So holding an ASEAN conference and the developments of Mongolia makes a lot of Koreans very happy as well, because we are very, we feel very close to each other. And because of that reason, I heard that a lot of Mongolian students do like Korean actors too, Korean Wave. And how is it in Mongolia, Korea?
Yeah, the Korean culture, like I said, Korea is the historically and culturally the close country, and Korea is the hottest destination for Mongolians to come study, work, and even transiting. So Korean cultural wave, so Hallyu is gaining momentum in Mongolia too. So it's very popular, and Korean drama, and Korean music, and cuisine, are very popular in Mongolia. So there are more Korean restaurants than any other national restaurant cuisines in Mongolia. So as far as the Mongolian young people, so they love to come to Korea to study. So we have around 4,000 Mongolian students studying in Korea. So there are more applications. So they think they need some support by the government of Korea, providing some scholarship. So, and the Mongolian young people, so of course they really love the Korean songs and singers and actors.
So from what I understand, I think to make the two nations get even closer, culture exchanges, I think very important. Is there any plan for it?
We need to send more press people to Mongolia to cover opportunities of cooperation in Mongolia. So some media exchanges would be should be increased in the future, and also because we have a lot in common. Historically and culturally, so I wish there could be a more joint cultural programs. Of course, the concerts and the exhibitions, and also to promote our traditional costumes to Korea, Korean costumes, design and art is in Korea at a very high level, not only in Asia, in the world, internationally. So another area I think we should explore is the joint producing some joint movies together with some historical genre, for example. So that would also help our two nations to come closer ever.
Is there any other field besides cultural exchanges that mainly that you are focusing on to work together, the collaboration between the nations?
Yes, so of course the education and culture is always an important part. So like I said, the more students wanted to come and study in Korea. So some technological areas, for example, engineering field would be a good part of cooperation in education. So Mongolia needs more engineers, mechanical engineering, or construction and energy, or So we agricultural engineers. So I would love to have more cooperation in IT sector, for example. So the training programs and jointly developing some projects in the IT sector. So we had Korea and Mongolia have our economies are complementary. So what we produce is very well needed in Korea, for example. So the natural and mineral resources, for example. What we need is the technology, so and experts. So now we need more Mongolian nationals to work on the projects together in Mongolia. So we talked about the transportation opportunities, so that would be more. And so joint investments in Mongolia to develop and process the natural and mineral resources would be a good base for our economic companies and investors. So we need more human capital capacity to be. So we have enough people, enough young people who speak very good Korean, but they need more technical expertise to work on the specific projects in Mongolia. So we could jointly make some good design of products in Mongolia and export to Chinese and Russian markets. So that would be another good area we should think about.
By staying here, what did you personally like about Korea, and what is your personal ambition while staying here as an ambassador?
Yeah, so every ambassador's wish bring their countries together closer, even closer. So for me, for example, so I would wish we could have a free trade agreement with Korea. So, I would wish to have a free movement of goods and services between Mongolia and Korea, and also the free movement of people. So basically making our visa-free travel.
Yeah,
so,
nice.
Yeah. So those two things I would really want to achieve. So free movement of goods and services, and free movement of people between Korea and Mongolia.
Yeah, that will be my dream as well. Lastly, is there any message that you want to send to Koreans?
Yeah. So come to Mongolia and try to know and try to understand Mongolia, and so I would like to invite our Korean friends from just regular casual tourists to explore Mongolia, and also the businesses to come to Mongolia and to invest and set up these businesses in Mongolia and offices in Mongolia, and explore those untapped resources of Mongolia, both natural and human, to make our economies strong ever together.
Thanks for sharing your time with us. Baila is saying thank you, right?
Thank you very much for having me today on your program. It's been a real pleasure and honor for me. Thank you very much.
오랫동안 형제 국가로 불리며 동반 성장해온 몽골과 한국. 앞으로 두 나라 간의 협력 방안을 더 기대해 보겠습니다. 시청해주신 여러분 고맙습니다. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I know it took forever.